What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So, yesterday afternoon, we had the news that Zach Wilson was traded to the Denver Broncos. Let's trade him and a 7th round pick to Denver in return. They get a 6th round pick in this year's draft. Teams are going to split his salary. He's making $5.5 million this year. They're going to split his salary, so that's about $2.7 million each or so. They're just going to split it. Look, the guy's a bust. The guy's horrible. Was atrocious draft pick, one of the biggest busts in NFL history. He was absolutely pitiful. But he's no longer on the Jets, which I'm happy about. It doesn't make the Jets any better because all they got was a 6th round pick back. They're still paying him almost $3 million to play for another team. I was very happy that they traded him. I was in this building. I was leaving this building out the front doors here, and then my friend I was with told me, "Hey, he's got traded to Broncos." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like rushing through my phone at social media. I saw it was confirmed, and I dropped onto my knees and I screamed yes. I was very happy, but obviously it doesn't make the Jets any better. It doesn't make them any less of a horrible organization. They are horrid. They're a horrid organization, obviously, but he's a hardcore like who's a horrid pick. He's now in Denver. Broncos quarterback room is now horrible, one of the worst I've ever seen. Jarrison, Zach Wilson, Ben DiNucci, Stidham's at best an okay backup. Zach Wilson maybe belongs in the NFL as like a third string. And then you got Ben DiNucci does not belong in the NFL. There's a reason he's been in the XFL the last couple of years. So that's horrible. But the Broncos gave up nothing. They're paying him less than $3 million. I assume they'll decline and fifth year option. And they only give up a 6th round pick for him. So I guess I figure if they somehow catch lightning in the bottle, amazing. If not, they'll let him go after the year. They gave up nothing. They're paying him nothing. And the Jets are like, all right, they were going to get anything for him. If Mac Jones only went for a 6th round pick this year, and Trey Lance, when first traded him last year, only went for like a 4th round pick. Justin Fields was much better than Zach Wilson, though he isn't great, so at least not so far. Went for a 6th round pick, who could come up 4th next year. Just weren't going to get anything for Zach Wilson. This is probably the only offer they had. Like, all right, we go up a 7 for a 6, and we pay half his $5.5 million salary. That's the best we can do. If it gets him off the squad, good. So NXT Battleground's going to be at the UFC Apex on June 9th. This is actually really big. People might not look too far into it, but the opportunities with TKO now owning the majority of WWE, of course, they're in like a little joint thing, but they have majority ownership over Vince McMahon, who obviously is not involved. TKO said he has had no contact with anybody. Apparently, he's still in contact with The Rock and John Cena, just because obviously they've been they've been some sort of partnership for a very, very long time. But TKO said he has no contact with anybody, he has no say in anything. He's completely out. But this is big. There's so many opportunities that could come about from this partnership between TKO and WWE, because TKO does own Endeavor, which owns the WWE. There's so many opportunities that could come about, and NXT, which kudos to Shawn Michaels for completely turning that program. Just completely turning it around. Obviously, he helped turn Braun Breaker into a star. Of course, he's now on the main roster. Now we have the NXT champ Eva Dragunova. I think is coming to the main roster. We got the draft Friday and continuing on Monday. I expect him to be drafted. I'm hoping him and Gunther fight, because when they fought in NXT, that match was incredible. I hope they run that back. I know he's fighting Trick Williams for the NXT title this week, and if Dragunov wins, Trick Williams has to leave NXT. So I'm thinking maybe you have Dragunov win, then Trick comes to the main roster. And Carmelo Hayes, I think, is on the verge of coming to the main roster. He had a little short stint on it, and they moved back to NXT for the most part. Of course, we turned on Trick Williams. They had their little rivalry. But they completely turned that around. Their most recent pay-per-view, the same weekend as WrestleMania. They completely sold it out. It was like 16,000 people, which for NXT is out of this world incredible. And now they're going to be at a UFC arena. The opportunity between TKO and WWE is absolutely incredible. So I'm excited about that. The Buffalo Sabres hired Lindy Ruff as next head coach. Now, this is why the Sabres have not made the playoffs since 2011. It's almost as bad as the Jets. They just have missed the playoffs in 14 straight seasons. Last playoff run was 2010. Or 13 straight seasons. The Sabres have missed the playoffs 12 straight seasons. Last playoff run was 2011. And this is why. So Lindy Ruff, he was the coach around for a long time. He was there for 17 seasons from 1997 to 2013. They let him go. He goes to Dallas for a few years. Wasn't great. Was an assistant coach with the Rangers for 3 years. Wasn't great. He was like their defensive, assistant coach. The defense was horrible. As soon as he leaves with the same inexperienced group, they all of a sudden just, were one of the better ones in the league. Goes to the Devils. Overall wasn't great. His first couple year or two was not very good. Then he had last year had a good year. They beat the Rangers in that 7-game series, come back down 2-0, and for dropping the first two on the road, but then losing the second round to Carolina. And this year just absolutely embarrassingly bad year this year. He was once a great coach, but the game has passed him by. Stop giving him chances. I think Buffalo will be doing this again when it comes to the coaches in probably about 3 years. If that, NHL coaches love pulling the plug, early on coaches. I didn't understand this hire. I think it's absolutely terrible. To me, I compare it like going back to your ex. So you were together for 4 or 5 years. You had some good memories, but things end up going bad. You break up. Then a couple years later, you're bored, not doing anything. And then you send them a text like, "Hey, what's up?" And then you meet up, and now you start dating again. And as we all know, that never works. And that's what I expect to happen with the Sabres and Lindy Ruff. Doesn't make any sense to me. Sticking with the coaching hires and interviews, the Hornets are interviewing J.J. Redick for their head coach opening. It's an interesting one. Obviously, he was an ex-player for a while. Obviously, when he went to Duke, had a successful career there. Was in the NBA for like 15 years, and then obviously he's gone to commentary. He's an analyst on ESPN. He appears on shows like First Take. He's got his own podcast. He started another one with LeBron James, and then he now does some broadcasting. He does some color analyst for ESPN. He actually was the color for Mike Bree and Doris Burke for Game 1 of the Knicks Sixers. I thought he did a fine job. He's a very good analyst. This is the thing with him. At least he's not, spewing some just like political BS like a lot of guys at ESPN do. At least he knows what he's talking about. So like most of the time, I happen to agree with him most of the time. Even when I don't, it's like all right. At least I could see where he's coming from. Even when I don't agree with him, he gives he gives insightful takes. He clearly knows ball. He knows what he's talking about at least. So I think he's a very good analyst. I don't know how he'll be as a coach. He clearly knows basketball very well, which is why he's a very good analyst on ESPN. Why he's been able to have success appearing on shows like First Take. It's why he's been able to have success with the stuff he does in the podcast world, his own show, and now he started one with LeBron. But can he coach? Can he discipline players? Can he manage a locker room? I don't know. Nobody knows. That's not a bad job to start actually for him because there's no expectation. That team is awful. Yeah, Brandon Miller's a good young player. You have whatever LaMelo Ball is, and then I don't know what else you have over there. Miles Bridges, for some reason, is still in the league. So that's actually a good starting point for him. So he can kind of learn as he goes. But I would like to see him be an assistant at least for a couple of years. But if you're the Hornets at this point, maybe you try it. If it crashes and burns, if it's Steve Nash 2.0, he's out of a job in 2 or 3 years, all right, and it's not any worse than the last freaking 5 coaches you've had. I mean, and it works, wonderful. There you go. Now you have something at least. So, but he's interviewing for that job. All right. Before we close out, of course, we have to talk about the NBA and the NHL playoffs. We'll start with the NHL playoffs. Toronto takes Game 2 from Boston, 3-2. Austin Matthews, the game-winning goal, a little under 8 minutes to go in the third period. And they tie that series at 1 game apiece. And Bruins got off to a really good start, but struggled in the second period. They gave up a goal, and then, Math with the game winner in the third period. The Bruins just got outplayed. Hurricanes come all the way back and beat the Islanders 5-3. Islanders were up 3-1 going into the third period, and then the Hurricanes dominated the third period. They outshot the Islanders, I think, 39-12 in that game. Islanders honestly played horrible all game. They just got a couple of lucky goals early on. Hurricanes kind of stuck with them, but just absolutely incredible comeback. Makes me smile. The Islanders, they're so mediocre every year. They're a little better offensively this year, but still not great, and they weren't as good defensively. Sorokin had a bit of a down year. Didn't help, but defensively in front of them, they weren't great. The coaching chain going from Lynn Lambert to Patrick Waugh didn't help that. I mean, it got them from, basically out of the race to the 8th seed, I guess. They're a 7th seed. Cool. Good for you, I guess. But they're going to lose a series. I picked Carolina to win 5 last year. They ended up winning in 6. I picked Carolina to win 5 again this year. And they're up 2-0 as they go to the UBS Arena in New York. So, big comeback for the Hurricanes. Shout out the Islanders for choking again. Makes me laugh, not going to lie. Golden Knights take game 1 from the Dallas Stars 4-3. I think Vegas win that series. I actually have Vegas going to the Cup final. That team is just so good, so experienced. They're so good defensively. they're good offensively. They have good goaltending. They're well coached. They're gonna be tough to beat. And of course, they're the defending champs. And they're here every year. And the Oilers beat the Kings in a high-scoring game, 7-4 in Game 1. So they take Game 1 from the Los Angeles Kings. I have them winning that series. Kings, they're obviously great offense. The defense and goaltending needs work. Every year, they'll go as far as their defense and goaltending is going to take them. And every year, all it takes them to is the first round. That's simple as that. Oilers, they need a little bit more. They need better goaltending, need to be better defensively, but you got McDavid, you got Draisaitl, obviously they're great offensively, so they'll win a series, but I doubt they'll win another one, but they should win that series. And the NBA, they're going to close out, not too much to talk about today. Cavs take Game 2 from Orlando, 96-86, so they've kind of beat the crap out of the Magic. These first 2 games have not been that close. Jared Allen, 16 points and 20 boards. Those 2 big guys, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, have really stepped up in this first round. Both of them really struggled in the first round against the Knicks last year. And, they've really taken care of business so far against Orlando. Pompero, 21 of the loss. Cleveland, they're really good defensively, and they've showed it in this series against the Orlando Magic. Look, I picked Cleveland to win the series in 6 games. I do like Orlando, though. I thought maybe they could have pushed to 7 if they squeaked by. I would even think they could possibly push Boston, maybe to a 6th game. I like them a lot, but Cleveland is playing really good basketball right now. Kudos to that squad. If they play Boston in the second round, that could be a really good series. I'm taking Boston to win that series, but don't be surprised if it goes with distance, because this Cleveland team is very good, and they're playing some good basketball. And we had Knicks beat the Sixers 104-101 in Game 2. They go up 2-0 going to Philly. Incredible game. This is one of the better playoff basketball games I've watched in a while. I mean, not the best. There's been some really good freaking playoff basketball these last couple of years. Last year, there were some phenomenal games. But what an ending. So, Maxey made a 3 to put the Sixers up by 4. I think it put him up 196 with a little over a minute to go. Then the Knicks missed a shot. Sixers got the rebound. Kyle Lowry was fouled intentionally with 45 seconds or something like that. Lowry goes to the line. I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me. Sixers were on 18-6 run. Knicks haven't scored in 4 minutes. We're gonna blow this game. Sixers are gonna split the guard and go into the Philly. You gotta be kidding me. Kyle Lowry makes the first one. 196. He missed the second one. Knicks go down. Jay Brunson hits a 3, gets that, kind of a weird bounce. I got to go in on that 3. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe there's a shot. We have 27 seconds to go. Sixers up by 2, 101-99. So then they inbound the ball to Maxey. He gets tangled up with Brunson, loses the ball. Sixers were not very aggressive. They just kind of stood there. Knicks pick up the ball, kick it out to DiVincenzo for a 3. No good. Hartenstein with an incredible rebound over Joel Embiid. Kicks it back up to DiVincenzo, who shoots it, and he makes it. Put the Knicks up by a point with 13 seconds left. Then Sixers go down. They miss. They get a rebound. And Obi makes 2 free throws. Then the Sixers have one last chance. Embiid with a deep 3 that misses, somewhat close but misses. Knicks win. Incredible game. Knicks score 8 straight points in the last 20, I think it was 28 seconds to win. One of the best finishes in a playoff NBA game I've seen in a while. And obviously there's been a lot of talk about this. People are saying they think Maxey was fouled. This is my take on it. There's a little grab from Brunson. I don't think it was enough to be a foul. At least not, in the most important part of a playoff game. I don't think it was a foul. I can understand why you would think that. People think that, but I personally don't think it was a foul. I didn't think it was enough. The officiating was not great in that game. It's been horrible for like 3 years or 4 years at this point. But it's every night with this crap. But it wasn't great. But whatever. But after that, Maxey freaking flops onto the floor. And then the Sixers just stood around. Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris right there. They stood around. Don't pick up the ball. The Knicks grab it. And after the missed shot, you gotta get the rebound. And they don't. Hartenstein grabs it, and they give DiVincenzo another chance, and then he makes it. So don't blame the referees for that. Like, that's just pathetic. Like, blame, Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid for not picking up the ball. Blame, once Maxey loses the ball, he's got to try and get that back. He can't just flop around the floor. Inside the NBA was talking about, they were saying, oh, yeah, like, they said, like, they thought he was foul, but, like, I forget if it was Shaq or Chuck. I think it might have been actually both of them. He said, like, all right, you might have been fouled, but don't flop around the floor, and I agree with them. Also, you got to get the rebound. You got a 7-foot guy who won the MVP last year. Well, he shouldn't have, but he did. Probably would have won it this year if he didn't get hurt. And he couldn't get a rebound, the biggest point of the game. Like, come on, like, what are you doing? And then you leave DiVincenzo open, and then he makes a 3. If Kyle Lowry hit both his free throws, that wouldn't have mattered. The game would have been DiVincenzo 3 would have tied it. Now for Sixers, you don't have to panic. Opposed to being down a point with 13 seconds left, the game is tied. So now you have Tyrese Maxey who's got 35, 9, 10, and Embiid's got like 33 and 12 or something like that. Now you have 13 seconds, no shot clock. You need 1 basket. Hell, 2 free throws might win the game. If you hold it and you drive to the basket and you get a foul in the final second, you hit 2 free throws, the game is probably over. You never know, man. Knicks call a timeout, they advance the ball, and then Brunson to 3. You never know. You never know. This is playoff basketball. But you would have had a much better shot. Also, Nick Nurse got called timeout. He claims he called timeout twice before that play happened. I didn't see it when I was watching. Maybe a replay will come out of it. The referees didn't see it. I don't know. But I didn't see. I watched the game. I did not see it. He definitely should have. You're done. You're up by 2 with 27 seconds. Brunson just hit a 3. You call a timeout. You talk things over. You're like, all right, get the ball in the hands of Joel Embiid. He's maybe the best free throw shooter in the league. Probably the best in the entire playoffs. Definitely the best free throw shooter in that game. If he makes 2, that puts you up by 4. Probably 10 to 12, 10 seconds the first time, maybe 12 seconds. You're in a really good spot. Sixers, I'm sorry, but Sixers choked the game away. Don't blame the fouls. And Joel Embiid's like, we're the better team. We're gonna win this series. Dude, shut up. I mean, you ain't the better team for crap, dude. You ain't gonna win this series. I hope that Sixers have done nothing but talks to beat Miami. Paul Reed, I barely even heard of him. Just like 4 minutes a game, says, "Oh yeah, we want him next to the easier series. Didn't want to play Boston." Embiid say, "Oh yeah," Embiid after going down 2-0 says, "We know what we gotta do. We're gonna win this series. We're the better team." They're following agreement with the NBA with the officiating. Embiid's getting every freaking call. Shut up, you worthless cry. I hope the Knicks take it and sick it up their ass. Enough of this. Finish this off. Send them back home crying. Tired of this crap of Philly. That's why I hate Philly. Everything about them just absolutely, they're just disgusting. Absolutely pathetic. Knicks, just take it and stick it up their ass in Philadelphia. Knicks, finish the job now. But as if that finish wasn't incredible enough, we got one just as good, if not better, in the Lakers-Nuggets game. Nuggets win 101-99. Jamal Murray with a buzzer beater, mid-range J on the right side, like in between the elbow and the sideline to win. Incredible finish. Lakers were up big in the first. Early on, they were up 15 at the half. They went up as many as, I think, 20, maybe even almost 25 in that third quarter. Nuggets came roaring back. At one point, the Lakers had missed 8 straight field goals. They didn't score for like almost 5 minutes. Nuggets come roaring back. Incredible game there. Jamal Murray iced them. He didn't have a great game. He was just 9 of 24. And, you know, Jamal Murray, he wasn't having a great night. He had a mid-range trade, I think, late in the game. I think that might have tied it at 95. The Lakers retook the lead. They went back and forth. Eventually, it was tied on that final possession. And then LeBron had a wild one three, which, by the way, I think he pushed off. Wild one three, missed it. Nuggets put the rebound with like 12, 13, maybe 10 seconds. They said not to call timeout, which, by the way, kudos to Mike Malone for not calling a timeout. He's like, we got Nikola Jokic, we got Jamal Murray. Trust the guys, you know. When Murray had it, I was saying you got to give it to Jokic. You know, Jamal Murray was only, he was only, what, at this point, 8 of 23 from the field. Wasn't having a great game. Jokic had 27, 20, and 10 in the game. But, he got the ISO on Anthony Davis. Step back, mid-range, bang, his time expires. I was absolutely shocked when watching this on my TV. Absolutely incredible. Nuggets win, and this series is over. For the Lakers, AD had 32 and 11. LeBron hit some big threes. Like D'Lo, who was awful in Game 1. Remember, he was horrible in this series last year. Basically, was unplayable. That they benched him halfway through the series last year. Was atrocious in Game 1. Had a much better game in Game 2. You know, Jamal Murray struggled in the game. Was only 9-24 from the field. And you're up like 21 points and you blow it and you still lose. This series is over. We might be having another sweep. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long and have a great day.